Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am streaming the Lord of the Rings Online, but first, I actually have an announcement to make about a video that is coming out Friday. This is the video, brief preview as I talk about it. I actually spent about 2 hours editing the first half minute of this video, so I'm really excited for the video and I hope people like it, and I just wanted to make that announcement so people hopefully watch it. But anyway, there's the preview and that's enough for now. If you're a channel member though, you can actually watch that video right now. Channel members do get early access, and it's very convenient that I can relate that to the stream, because I did want to thank Matt Miller for becoming a channel member before the stream actually started. So I do appreciate that. That helps support the content and streams, videos, all that really moving forward. To get to chat, did want to say hello to Andrew, Sand and Snow, Aragon, and Dokebi. I also need to turn my AC on. I'm perfectly fine temperature to just like sit here at my desk, but one, now that I'm standing, and two, especially now that I'm streaming and talking and trying to get my standing mat where it's actually supposed to be, it's all of a sudden really warm. But anyway, today we're going to be doing the update 35 beta, which includes the Warden revamp, Captain revamp, Power revamp, Mastery revamp, what's it called? The Aragorn's house revamp, whatever that place is called. Not Aragorn's, Elrond's library. And I think that's all the revamps, but that's like 5 of them or something. So there are a lot of revamps. I'm basically, unofficially, the way I'm calling the update is the update of revamps rather than Return to Carn Dum. But on the note of Return to Carn Dum, this beta round finally has... Ooh, I thought it actually only had 1 of these instances, but 2 of them pop up on the... It's called Ingmar Reborn as the section. 2 of them pop up apparently, so that's kind of neat. Also, some people might have seen some reports about the upcoming class being Corsair. It's listed TBD class here, that's what made me think of it. But on an interesting note, I thought Corsair could make sense, but an interesting note is that Cordovan, the community manager, so from Standing Stone Games, he confirmed that Corsair is not the name of the upcoming class. So as far as I know, it's still a mystery to exactly what it's going to be. I suspect it's probably going to be a pirate-like class. I think that's something most people could guess, at least if Standing Stone Games did something that makes sense. They don't always do that, but if they did, it would be a pirate-like class to come with the expansion where we sail to Umbar. I think, oh, why can't I think of the name? Swashbuckler. Something like that could just be the name. And yeah, Cutlass that's what I was thinking, Swashbuckler. It's kind of interesting, though. I'm actually not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this video concept. So I have about I'd probably guess like 33% of the video written. But with the process with making videos is a video has to be meaningful in some way. And the general idea of this video is I talk about why I don't use plugins. So I think from just a general perspective, that is okay. But the problem is the first portion of this video that I wrote is that it kind of doesn't really tie into that very well, and it's more of a bigger topic that I go into, so I actually don't know what to do with that. I guess I have to go to Ingmar to discover these. That's unfortunate. Using that has no effect. How about this one? Must complete Discovery Carn Dum by traveling to Baal Avark. Well, I guess I know where we're going. Let's try Staple Master's map. Okay, so anyway, with this video, for a little bit of background, on how videos go, we'll start there. Oh no, Andrew, your hunter was behind me and I just left. Oh, were you Tawarth, the one that waved to me? I didn't even see that. Hopefully your character popped up on the stream at least. Hello, Wendy, and Augustus, and Anthony. Wow, I missed a lot of people. And Nerfdis. Thank you for becoming a channel member. I I really like how your name matches your what's it called, like profile picture icon.
How can I be of service?
Solo version is really difficult. I was actually thinking of jumping into the 3-man version. See, I thought I turned my monitor brightness up, and I did. It's just Angmar is dark, wow. And I have my ambient light. If I didn't have my ambient light up, I won't be able to see. Given I do have 1, 2, 3 lamps on behind my monitors, so yeah. So Return to Carn Dum is level cap content, and it's essentially a reimagined Carn Dum that uses modern day LOTRO design in an old area. Yeah, I can't imagine, like, I guess my monitor's relatively bright. It's at its brightest setting, at least. But if you're watching this on a dark screen, good luck being able to see anything. I also have no idea how to get to this place, to be honest. It's entirely possible that you'd have to go through here, so this is going to be a little bit of a fun discovery phase for me. Just like people are apparently discovering my channel. So Shadow, you said you just discovered my channel? You were a day 1 player but quit with the Rohan expansion, considering getting back in. I think now is a great time to at least try LOTRO. It is free to play, so you can just like start off free. There's a lot of free content nowadays. Oh, you can only get there from a stable master? Well, that's not helpful, but the information is very helpful. It's not helpful that I moved. I think you can travel from here. Yep, there it is. And just because I can, I'm going to choose to spend a mythic coin over 237 silver. The power of being on the Boar server, it just compels me to spend mythic coins instead of silver, if I can. See, if you ever log into Bullroar, which is free, you need a LOTRO account. I don't think you need to be subscribed or anything, and you don't even have to own content when you go there. Hey, there's the hunter again. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you can do that, and it is your time that you can binge and spend and get that all out of your system. Also, is it just me, or does that guy look like a Corsair swashbuckler pirate that would come in the expansion? Doesn't he look like what I would describe as those good Corsairs like Jajax? I don't think it quite looks exactly like Jajax, but it has been a while. I feel like that's gotta be some sort of purposeful hint or tease or something. We could try to, yeah, if you want to join, we can try to do the 3-man. I haven't even gone into the instance. I might be a little bit slow, but I'm happy to group up for it. Crafting revamp is not in this update yet. I'm not 100% sure if they're intending on... Oh, what are these things? Currency is not necessarily a bad thing. There are a lot of currencies in LOTRO, though. It sometimes is annoying, but just inherently having a new one isn't necessarily bad. Wait, duo is easier than solo? Oh, probably because it's like the solo difficulty running 2 people, but then why would it be like easier? If anybody else in chat is on board and you want to join me and a random viewer, I don't mean that in a bad way, but join me and Andrew in trying the 3-man, then now is the time to do that. But what I did want to do is actually spec this character. If we run the 3-man, I'd probably try Blue Line. Sand and Snow, you'd be down? Okay. I actually do need a... Oh, there's a debuff that's not on solo. I'm wondering if they just forgot or didn't actually implement the debuff into the solo version. 1 million health. That's as much health as I have. Do I... Oh, Virtue's leveled up. Oh yeah, we already saw that. We saw that last week. Okay, so I do have to spec this character, so I'm gonna be safe and go blue line. And I'm probably gonna pick all normal tanky stuff. Wait, I forgot this is actually potentially useful now. I'd rather light type damage than fist gambit damage because it's a little bit less specific. No more yellow line, but it seems like a lot of the old yellow line specialization benefits you can do fairly decently just in the red line now. Tier 1 is perfectly fine for me to start. Critical defense. Oh, melee damage reduction. Sounds good. I'm eventually going to get through all these, but I'm just trying to actually remember what they do. Shield Gambit line healing, I'll probably get that. Hot Pulses sound slightly better, though. And this one's just increased. Oh yeah, so they changed Gambit Chain. So one of the things that, with the second round of beta, is they have revamped portions of the Warden revamp. So Gambit Chains saw a pretty big change, which I think just based on what I read sounds a lot more appealing to me. So in the first implementation, you had to use a 2-length gambit followed by a 3-length gambit and follow that by a 4 or 5-length gambit. And now I believe you can use any 4 gambits. So instead of 3 gambits, it's now 4 gambits. You can use any 4 gambits and you will get the advanced technique. I don't think there are any benefits for using gambit chains though. Like you used to get 10% extra damage. I don't know for defensive gambits how that worked out, but I remember defensive ones went up by 10%. Also, I believe they heavily nerfed Persevere. Like it used to do about 10 times more healing, so that happened. Some might call it a fix, but I do prefer to. So Gambit opener duration. That says it improves Gambit chain openers, but I don't actually know how that works with, say, like conviction is 1 minute. If I put 1 point in this, is it still going to be 1 minute if it's the first one I use? Or if that just means 2-length gambits. No, that is 1 minute 10 seconds now. But if that was 1 minute 10 seconds, is Dance of War? That's also 1 minute 10 seconds. I don't know how this could be. Yeah, no, that is working. Okay, it just seems to affect every gambit. Wait a minute. 3 seconds. Oh, here it is. Here's the 10-second buff duration. So, does this affect 2-length gambits? We would expect that to be 1 minute 13 seconds. So that only affects 2-length gambits as far as I can tell. So I'll probably... 1 point for investigation is fine. The raid, I believe, is not in the beta yet, Gamerkeeper, but there's one 3-man that we will be getting to in a moment. I think this is still never surrender yet, just decrease the cooldown on that. And then for the free peoples, it is still an advanced technique buff. So one thing I do wish is that the tooltip specified how much the effect was increased by advanced technique. That would just be like more clarity. More clarity is always good for players. So I wonder if I can use the same gambit and build up advanced technique. I can. Wow. Just because I can, I'm going to. Wait, that went back to 1. So it went to 1, it went to 2, but it didn't go beyond that. Let's do Dance of War now. Okay, that went to... Oh, do you have to use 4 different length gambits? Maybe that's what's going on here. Be really convenient if there was a training dummy around. I wonder if Warcrying the such will work. Okay, that seemed to work. I didn't know if it would work because we're out of combat and not hitting anything, but it is triggering. Or it's not. I actually have no idea why that keeps cycling between step 1 and step 2. Never mind. That's true, we could spar and test it. Here, I'll just use weak gambits, if you don't mind. Brawler, I think Brawler's, wait, what is that? That is a new icon for offensive strike. It looks a lot more offensive. Okay. There we go. Now it seems to be working decently. Did I already use Boar's Rush? Unseen Strike? Okay. We got Advanced Technique 1, and all I wanted to see was how much stronger this is. It's 2.5% stronger. That is all I got to see. Ouch. Why do hunters do so much damage? And I think you can use it in any order. I suppose I should test that instead of just using the same gambits over and over. Can I heal him? I don't think you can in spars. Okay. It was a random thought. Okay, so we should have, if I use... They should be low damage. But this should advance my... Yeah, that is advancing the gambit chain. Okay, so initial impression on that change is that I definitely like it better. And now we're up to 27.5%. Why did that go up so much for tier 3? I am more than slightly confused. Do I still have that thing up? We don't need that anymore. This one doesn't seem to be... Is the duration longer? It says restoring morale each second. If an enemy hits you, it's still 10%. Higher advanced technique doesn't seem to do anything on restorative shield work. Oh, Sand and Snow, you get to this area, you can, because it's beta, pretty quickly get to Gathvorthnear and take a swift travel to Vale Avark. Hello, Snow Lightbringer. Glad to see a good bit of people here today. I was a little bit concerned just because it's a later stream and I also got to scheduling it late, but I guess that didn't hurt too much today. Especially considering just how exciting the beta is. Are we still in the spar? She tries to make you all think she needs food. Yeah, that looks scary. That had to have been Heartseeker, right? It just looked like Heartseeker. How much did that hit me for? Wow, that actually would have one-shot me. Well, I can use... Wait, none of these give me an instant heal. By the way, this is what tier 1 looks like. I realize this is not the best display of things, but for the free peoples here, tier 1, so 1 advanced technique is on the left, and it looks like you can actually use it without any advanced technique, which is weird. So that's 0 advanced technique, that's 1 advanced technique, and that's 2 advanced technique, but I think it's the same. 0 and 1 are the same. I don't know if it's a bug that you can use these without advanced technique. Oh, is that Sand and Snow? Well, you know what? They're getting in a fight anyway. Okay, Sant Lore. The Poison Gardens. The name sounds scary. Tier 1, size 3, that works.
Beyond the falls of
Come on, cat.
lies
So, I remember seeing a screenshot of this place already. Or something. Had to have been a screenshot on one of their things. Because this looks familiar. It's a little bit busy. Also, I have no idea how to play Warden anymore, so hopefully this goes okay. Here, the hunter could one-shot them, that works too. There seem to be roots. I'm guessing they're going to attack. Well, maybe not. I'll pull them anyway. I also forget how to build the new buffs, so that's a slight concern. Well, Shift 3 would do Ready Blade, and then I think this is another important one. Both of those reduce incoming damage by quite a bit. Although this is about what I'd expect for a tier 1. Shouldn't need to use too many defensive things. Also, I don't have many javelin abilities. And I never actually finished spinning my traits. Oh well. We gotta slowly get used to the Warden changes. We can put in yellow line traits later. Also, I should probably turn floating names on so I can see. So, TBD, explore the poison gardens and search for missing NPC. My only question is, if they're missing in... Oh, yikes. That was not a good idea. Just like Carn Dum, don't walk into the poison waters in poison gardens. There is, as far as I know, very, very little new landscape, but no, like, new landscape content. As far as I know this, I've never been to this camp, at least if it has existed before. But, so there appears to be a new camp outside of Carn Dum, and just the new instances. And all the revamps, of course, but for actual content. You don't belong in my garden. Tarka and right there. Maybe I will taunt. I probably have some advanced technique built up from all this combat though. Actually, it expires after 9 seconds out of combat, so I don't even know. Hold up, I can use my buffs. Now, I do forget, do Dance of War and Conviction still have... Okay, they still have the percentage buffs. That's not too bad. Do we get loot? Adder's Tooth. I didn't see any loot. Was that a boss fight? Seems like it was supposed to be a boss fight. Okay, so Gamer Keeper, you were wondering what the point of yellow line for Captain and Warden? So for Captain, they are great for tanking. For Warden, they won't have it anymore, but it will have supplemental traits. Oh, the door just automatically opens. For how cluttered, like the just design of this place looked at first, it doesn't seem too bad once you're actually in here. Because that's one of the things in Sark of Orin, the outside part, that was kind of annoying, was how cluttered it was. I'm gonna do fancy Warden stuff. Try to get some damage in while I can. We have our new burst, hopefully for a reason. 143k, and I guess that's all it exploded. You know, I forget that offensive strike doesn't heal anymore. I'm guessing that's where we go next. Oh boy. That could have been bad. Oh, I guess this water doesn't actually instantly kill you. Ah, there's a priest in combat. Okay, we will wait here. Explore a little bit. So this does appear to be a little bit of Carn Dum style housing. You can see that in the architecture here, but there's a lot. I mean, it's called the gardens, but there is a lot of foliage around and a lot of plants, and some plants going through buildings. You know what? You actually can just spend Mythal coins and advance these, can't you? I wouldn't recommend that, but again, on beta, that is our chance too. Best or foul? Oh, that's for one of the quests, I guess. Just doing random damage check. Don't mind me. That's one thing, it's probably going to take a little bit of time to eventually get down, but actually seeing the relative power of the different gambit lines is something that I still need to do. This guy does not want to go into the building, wow. That seems like a way to cheese this fight. Wait, where did that dog go? Oh, hey, there is another way. Wait. Is this where we're supposed to go afterwards? Was that actually a shortcut? I don't have a map. I don't... Oh. Oh, they got locked out. Oh, no. Oops. I did not know that was going to happen. Oh, this ain't great. That means I'm gonna actually have to do stuff. If I can find a way to reset it, I will. But I'm not sure that will be possible. Oh, Tawarth, which is Andrew in chat, got there is, people in my kin were excited about this, but at level 50 on the reward track, there is, if this boss can kill me, like, she can. So they can actually join the fight. Hopefully that doesn't break anything, but we can look at the reward track. This boss doesn't do much damage though. At level 50 on the reward track, there is an emote that lets you read a book. And yes, Jensen, that is a cat cam that is now empty. So, wait, why am I healing so much? I have stopped looking at the screen, stopped paying attention, and I'm like all healed up somehow. Oh, never surrender. That would be my guess, okay. We do see this boss is really weak though. But yeah, Warden with this update should be a lot better at endgame, especially in terms of tanking. For the group support aspect that they used to have at Yellow Line, I think they have lost some of that, but also gained a little bit as well. Fire at Will has really short duration, wow. I still really hope that. Oh, that's even, you've run this on tier 3, Andrew, and it's tank and spank. That seemed like, took forever for me to die there, but you all can now join the fight. That might not be too exciting. I expect DPS to be improved a little bit, but I definitely have not done any testing, and I for sure could not even do like I could do a comparison, but it would not be optimal by any means. We could try tier 3. I don't know that it'd go that well. Okay, I think we're all in the room now. I might have to actually do some useful stuff if we do tier 3 is the problem. Oh, hey, there are ads. Okay, at least this fight did get a little bit more exciting. There are also puddles on the ground. I don't think it's a problem that it's this easy on tier 1, but it's honestly easier than I expected. I just expected a little bit more resistance. How much damage does a puddle do? 10% max morale. Not as much as I expected. That was a very long phase. Oh, I can use Ready Blade. Oh. Did we break this? Oops. We might have broke this. I wonder if that could have been killing the ads too fast, or... I don't know what would have done that. Well, we'll see if the puddle can kill me before I leave instance. I think that would be a yes. Okay, so for Redline Warden, yes, Redline Warden should be good with this update. It was already pretty decent before this update, but should be even better now. In terms of damage, and in terms of how much group support stuff they give, which is very important in LOTRO, even for DPS specs and classes. Hopefully we can try to get through this new instance without it breaking. The first boss, who seemed to give no loot, went very smoothly, but again, no loot. The second boss, we're running into troubles. We're on attempt number 3. Suppose I could start spending some traits, because I actually could use some more traits. Probably get stuff in the yellow line. But yeah, eventually well, I should know where I'm going. Eventually I will need to get used to the yellow line traits, but it's actually kind of nice not playing with that right now, just so I could get used to what's just different without all the yellow line trait stuff. I think that is a cat. I don't know what she wants. Probably snacks. Okay, I think we're good to go. I don't know if it's possible for us to intentionally try to be a little bit slower about killing the boss or the ads when they come up, but that might not be a terrible idea, it seems. Also, I totally forgot to record anything that we have had so far, so all the extra gameplay that I'll have is going to be... Yeah, oh, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say I'm still not seeing that icon pop up. Okay, so the boss is healing. I wonder if she's supposed to go out of the phase once the ads die. That would be my guess, at least. Also, I forget what gamers do what now. Oh, she's not even supposed to green bar. Wow. Well, if y'all want to run this on a higher tier, we can. That seems like it might be the easiest way to get this get past the second boss. I honestly don't even know how many bosses there are, because it's just like, that's actually a decently long background description for the instance. Yeah, I don't see anything about like how many bosses. Oh, the loot for this seems to be Sarkborn loot table. I'm guessing that is non-intentional, or well, that's just like placeholder would be my guess. And there's only 2 bosses, so this is the last boss. I suppose it would make sense for the Grand Cultivator to be the last boss. But yeah, that's, I suppose, unfortunate that we don't get to see what presumably will be the real loot. But I also think having the instance is better than not having it, even if the loot's not ready. If it is just Sarkborn loot, that'll be, I think, sad overall. I don't think that would be good. But we can try. I don't necessarily want to try this on tier 1 again, especially if it's just the one boss. But if you all want, we can try to just jump it up to tier 3 and see what happens. And then after that, I should probably get to checking out some of the other stuff in the update. But the big thing was actually this 3-man instance. That's the big new thing, as well as the change with Warden Gambit chains. I will have to create a dummy instance. I'll say do not enter, please. Actually, no, we're changing it. I got things mixed up for a second there. One thing that I'm kind of curious is, with this being an Angmar Reborn thing and return to Carn Dum, it kind of makes sense that it would be a higher level than original Angmar, but I'm also curious why they didn't do this from level 50. Maybe, I think the raid would make most sense, as fun as it could be to have a lower level raid again, that of course is also like viable and the such at that level cap, level 140, but yeah, it would have been neat to have these available at level 50. I expect this to be a little bit harder, but I'm still going to try with the few trait points I have spent tanking, or at least fake tanking, because it does appear that the sand and snow there switches to, or is in blue line now by their 1.5 million morale. Oh, I actually already have a lot of my consumables eaten, but I was gonna see if there was anything I had to quickly boost up my morale. Okay, so if I just wanted to do straight up damage, I think the AoE light dot gambit line is still great. And then if the mobs or lower health are about to die, finish it off with the one that consumes their effects for burst damage. Kind of similarly, with a single target like this, you can use cauterizing steel to consume the spear bleeds. I believe Spear of Fate will be one of the higher value gambits for single target damage. I realize this is not optimal in terms of gameplay, but oh wow, that got me really close to the water. But just compared to, yeah, Spear of Virtue, Spear of Fate does a lot more damage. Also, I'm about to die, but that's okay. I will actually contribute this time. Oh, I was going to Force Taunt, but Looks like the other Warden seen this though there and got up with more already when I did that, and then I'm just smushed. We, as in I, accidentally pulled a lot of mobs when I got knocked down by the roots. But no thanks to me, we're actually getting through this. Yeah, that cash out, it really seems like you have to do that at, oh wow, my health went low. It seems like you have to do the cash out when they're like really low on health because it just doesn't do that much damage. I think it could be interesting if they scaled the amount of damage that cash out does based on the duration left on the effects that it consumes. So longer duration effects would ultimately give you more damage on the cash out to make it more valuable. Of course, it would have to be balanced, but I would probably prefer that. Especially for shorter fights like that, it would really make it feel more worthy of your time to even bother to try to do the cash out. Because as much as they have improved Warden upfront damage, it's not that much really. Like, Desolation, just for comparison, after 4 seconds would do more damage than that previous gambit. And then even if we go to, what's it called now, Spear of Fate, that one would also do more damage in just a few seconds of ticking. But we do get to see what the first boss is like on tier 3. And I might be eating my words here, but so far this is very easy for tier 3, especially how much messing around I'm doing. That's the nice way to describe my contributions at the moment. It does help having 2 tanks, so I have actually, it has given me the opportunity to mess around more and like just do damage stuff. I also have not been using advanced techniques and really consuming those, so if I use 4 of the free peoples there, that's a decent buff for us. It also does appear that they are working on the Ingmarum. Good. I was definitely paying attention to that the whole time. So it does also appear with the Gambit chain changes that it's once again better to just start with the longer Gambits. So the strongest gambits first. That does appear to be back on the menu. Okay, I'll give myself a heal. This guy's damage does ramp up a little bit. Also, I thought I had never surrender up. Uh-oh. Wait, we have advanced techniques for this. That is my emergency heal button. There we go. We're getting the big heals now. I think Readied Blade is the melee one. Shield up would be for range and tactical, which I don't think I would actually need on this boss. But yeah, that was pretty decent. Now, loot please? No loot. How unfortunate. All that work, and I didn't even get loot that will be deleted in a month, or whenever the update actually comes out. Oh yeah, I forgot just what the balance changes. Warcry, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but for some reason I'm feeling like it does more than it used to, like does relatively more damage. Alright, we'll try our cauterizing, or whatever this game it's called here. I could actually put up combat analysis just to see how much damage what does, you know, get some useful information. It is very nice your plugins work, like whether it's beta or not, because they're like based on the update of the game or whatever. How much damage does Unseen Strike do? Not terrible. Oh wait, did they change the icon for Mighty Blow and Power Attack? Did they like swap those two? Yeah, Power Attack. Power Attack and Mighty Blow swapped icons. Has Unnerving Strike always had 2 R's and 1 N? Have I been spelling that wrong the whole time? Or have I even been spelling it that way? Oh, there was some good damage. Of course, this other guy's still alive, so there's that. But we did actually get to see the consumption effect. Would that be Unseen Strike, or would that be Unseen Strikes? I think I would have consumed 6 damage over time effects in total, and hit the 2 mobs each twice. So the consumption effect on Desolation, Surety of Death, etc. actually did contribute to a decent bit of damage there. I wish I saw the whole bit, but we did start a new fight, which is fine, but... Oh, reversal. That's not what I wanted. But here I can actually just go to the previous fight. So for Unseen Strike itself, this one hit on average 109k, and that's with removing 3 effects. So that did about 300k damage, which means mobs would have to be about that low. So they'd have to be pretty low for you to get the full effect of consuming the damage over time effects, and like to get the most value out of it is what I mean. If I had all 3 AoE dots up at once, I would probably want... It'd probably be safe to do at around 1 million. Also, yeah. I forget we're on tier 3. This has actually been so easy that I once again have been messing around, which I appreciate you all here, Sandisto and Andrew, for carrying me through this as I mess around. It actually makes things easier to test. What was I saying? I actually forgot at this point. Too far away. Oh, I was thinking that was a line of sight issue. There we go. Hold up, I can use all these gambits from range now. And they actually have the same effects as if they were in melee. So I can use Javelin of Fate from here. I actually really like that. While we did lose, not Shatter Javelins. What was the one before Shatter Javelins? I can't think of the name of it right now. But the old trait that gave the Javelin Gambit, so range Gambits, a 50% chance to cause a bleed. We did lose that, but we did gain a lot of dots from having the consistent effects between the ranged and melee variants of Gambits. Also, melee Resounding Challenge is actually viable. The old melee Resounding Challenge had a use, but it wasn't really useful, if that makes any sense. Good virtue traits for Captain. You're going to be leveling one before the new update. Okay. I could actually see that being a decent idea, at least for the Captain. I know the Warden's going to change a lot, so As much as I recommend people play Wardens or try Wardens, because I think it's a great class, it could actually be a better idea to wait to start one till after the update, because I think the leveling progression will be smoother. Like when you get certain things and just easing you into the class. But with the captain, it could actually be I think a decent idea to get a general idea of how the captain plays, and then you actually get to see the changes in effect. But anyway, that note aside, good virtue traits. Loyalty is good for every class. That's the first one I typically pick. Wit could also be good, but with captain specifically, that'd probably still be what I personally would pick, is wit as my second one. But after that, it could depend on what you ultimately want to do with your character. If you're just looking to maximize your damage as you level up, I would do the same damage virtues that I always recommend, which would be Valor. We already did Loyalty, Wit, so Valor would be the highest valued DPS virtue. Satan Snow? I actually really like that pull. While I did have an unfortunate fate there. That's fun. We needed something to throw us off the routine. This was feeling like a tier 0.3 until now, instead of tier 3. I really do think that is because of the other people in the group, though. The hunter seems to do a lot of damage. I'm guessing, Andrew, you were well equipped on Bull here. I'm just running whatever random gear my character has on the live servers. I haven't got to myself any fancy Bull upgrades. And on the live servers, for that aspect, I don't have the best gear, but it's a huge improvement from where I was before the Shadow. Oh yeah, Celebration of Skill, did they ever fix that? Because I really hope it was not intended how little it healed before. It does appear to be fixed. Just based on that number, I'm guessing that looks... Yeah, that looks a whole lot better than it used to. It used to heal less than Restoration on the initial heal, I think, or about the same. But other virtues, if I actually pull up the virtue panel, I can see what the virtues are. So we have Loyalty, Wit, Valor are good starting points. And then if you're really looking to boost your own damage, Confidence and Zeal would be the next two. And then if you're looking to be, I don't know, do more tanking, focus more on your supporting, focus on, or play blue line, Fidelity, I believe that should be good on Captain as well, and Tolerance for tactical mitigation, both of those. And then if you're tanking, I think some tanks still run physical mitigation, but I haven't had to look at that much lately. I'll go ahead and use my consumables. We'll get a hope token. We might have already had a hope token. Oops. We'll get one of these guys. I don't know what other consumables I have, to be honest. Alright, Andrew, you say your gear is very similar to what you have on live. And yeah, I would say your gear's a lot better than what I have on live. Just based on it being all teal, first of all. I still have a yellow 462 ring. You have a 478 bracelet. They go up that high now? That is Grave, so I'm guessing that is from Sargvorn. Hey, I have a similar pocket item. Except it's... Oh, that's actually Dwarf Lords. Never mind, I don't have a similar pocket item. It's only item level 470, which is the same. That's the only similarity. Alright, Ranged Warden to the rescue. Ranged is still slower, but I feel like that's an acceptable downside, because being ranged, of course, is valuable because you have a lot of flexibility in how far away you are from enemies. You can even attack them at ranges they can't attack you if they're melee. So it is slower, but definitely get the effect. I get the reason why it is slower. So for you, Andrew, your record is 1.1 million DPS over 3 minutes in Hidden Horde tier 2 boss 1. Translated, that means you could kill me during your record time about 180 times over during the 3 minutes. Once per second. At least when I'm not in tank spec. Forget what to do after those 2 gambits now. Actually, I can do melee resounding challenge. I've been playing here. Wow, we've already been streaming about an hour, but I've been in this instance for however long, and I still forget that I can actually just use melee resounding challenge. It is such a weird concept to me. Well, I got to the boss. Hopefully it doesn't break. You know, boosting it up to tier 3. Maybe that's what we needed to succeed. I also can't really see these guys' health. I meant to move this stuff out of the way earlier. But yeah, I will try to pay attention to Sand and Snow's health and Force Taunt when it looks like that would be useful. Or I'll just Force Taunt anyway because the hunter is losing health, which means they probably have aggro. And I die. If I actually bother to put my buffs up and, you know, do better, I probably would have survived. Can I blame that there's just a lot going on for why I died? Is that an acceptable excuse for my noobiness right here? $25 million health. I also, just for reference, for people that are maybe just joining or perhaps missed it, I still don't have all my trait points spent. It looks like the boss works though, so that's good news. I also get like this is my kind of gameplay. I get to just sit here and chill and watch them defeat the Grand Cultivator. Oganuin. That's a funny name. Corruption? Oh, I couldn't see what the corruption does. You know, people are good at the game when they remove the corruption before you can even hover over it to see the effect. But yeah, you can actually put trade points in while you're dead. I guess that has never come up for me because that is just like mind-blowing that I can do that. Wow. Yeah, I think it's time. This is still bugged. Unless they actually made it plus 102%, then 1 point would be worth it and probably not the other 4, but I think it's still... I think it is still only 10% at rank 5, not 110%. Attack duration and assailment. Oh, there's actually a trait. I honestly don't remember that from the first beta. It was probably there, but I don't remember it. And then raw range damage. Boss works. They're in combat, but I can retreat. If y'all needed any confirmation that I was carried through this whole run, then that is pretty much it. And no problem with the boss. I did an AoE force taunt. I think all the ads killed me anyway there. It was still fun. Wait, did I actually do 262k DPS? That must have been a different fight or something, I don't know. Oh, found mobs. Wait, can I not get in there? Oh, there are still saplings. I could retreat, but it looks like they still maybe have stuff to deal with. I don't know. Oh no, I'm left on my own here. Hold up, I can do this. Just give me a second. If anybody played Hearthstone, that very much reminded me of Millhouse Mana Storm. This was, how many years ago did Hearthstone launch? But him just saying, like, just you wait until I have 10 mana. I felt like that was me during that fight while I was trying to look at other stuff. Is the door open? Can I actually go the right way? The door is open. Great. There's still venom caps around. Oh, they're not on line of sight. Great. This guy's in line of sight. This looks very scary. TBD chest tier 3. Yeah. Hold up, I gotta try my AoE burst. Beautiful numbers on the screen. I did 124.5k DPS, I think that is. Hold up, am I forgetting how to read this? Yeah, DPS would be the leftmost one there. But I think that is... Oh, that's actually not even showing on this. Never mind that. Anyway, yeah, the burst did a decent bit. The Runekeeper buffs. Yeah, I think Runekeeper would have been buffed overall, but for the Runekeeper changes, they are in the beta. I think they made even more additional changes to the Runekeeper, though. Oh, easy way to fix it is to jump in the fun water. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, because everybody would die. Oh, do they just keep spawning? Because when I came here... Wow, that only does 8k damage. That's actually kind of weak. This does look like fun water. In fact... Wait, you can't actually do emotes in combat. It's actually not doing damage to me. Oops. That's not the fun water. That's the boring water. I'm guessing this is the fun water, because this one looks even more fun. They really don't want you to jump off the bridge, huh? Fun water. I think it's really interesting the way, like, once you load, for some reason the game just looks totally different. Alright, just going to try to loot the chest. I know it sounds like it has Sarkborn loot, but I gotta see what's in it. Again, I appreciate you all, Andrew and Sandus, though, for... Yep, we're getting right in combat. But I appreciate you all joining. It has made checking things out, testing things easier again. Hopefully I wasn't too annoying just testing things with the Warden revamp the whole time. But I at least had fun checking out the new instance. I wonder how the balance will potentially change in the... by time the full update comes out, or if it will. Because compared to the first two instances in Gundabad, this just seemed easier on tier 3, but I have not tried, even like walked into tier 3 on the Gundabad 3-mans in like forever. Just because I'm pretty much, even though it's been a long while since I've run them, I'm still pretty tired. Oh, you end up in combat again, but it fixes the trees. Headed right back. I can't stay away from the poison gardens. All right, what do we get for all that effort besides some grand armor that isn't even armor? I got, yeah, Grave Band, so that'd be Sorgborn. Bracelet, which happens to be... Wait, is it actually better than what I have? I was... Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Thank you. Which, you know, for tanking, and it has a lot of fate. So, yeah, for tanking, I'd probably rather this, because it has more vitality, and it has a lot of fate to help ensure I don't run into power issues. Now, I already have one of these, and it has an essence slot, and it's teal and all that, but yeah, I got an upgrade. And that's all. It doesn't really matter, because it's a beta server. Delver's Lively Essence Box. I don't know if I've actually seen one of these. I don't think I have. Do I even have that cloak equipped? Probably not. That would be a tankier cloak, but it's not a good cloak. I also do have tankier shields that I could have equipped the whole time. I think that would be it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I could actually do in the Isengard Tavern, I think, to improve this character. But, okay, so Andrew, you regularly raid Tier 3 Hidden Horde. Eventually, I will get to actually running Hidden Horde for the first time. All the group content that I have done, like the past, not all of it, but a lot of it has been more 6-mans than 3-mans. Wow, that's almost 2 million morale. Technically buffed, but self-buffed. That is, hey, 1 million morale. That's more reasonable. I also like their outfit. That's a good Runekeeper outfit. It initially seems like it might not be a good Runekeeper outfit, but I like it. Like, at first it didn't quite look like a Runekeeper, but it also looks, I don't know, I'm saying the same thing over and over. Okay. Probably time for me to switch to the Captain. Based on the damage you do, Andrew, I wouldn't be surprised if he could solo the DPS role in Tier 1 Hidden Horde. Okay, so I am going to... Wait, was I going to check out the Captain changes more? I honestly forgot what I was planning on doing in this beta besides the 3-man. Was there actually anything else for me to check? Besides just getting more used to the Warden. So the two big things were run the 3-man and get more used to the Warden. And I feel like we've made good progress on both of those. And then the other revamps in the beta is really just passively seeing how the power change works. I haven't run into power issues, that much I can say. But I think I'm actually going to switch, because I didn't get around to this in the first round of beta, but I think I'm going to switch to Warden. We'll just leave you all there. But I'm going to log into Warden and just see how things look on him. And as you all will see, I'm very interested in Dordan's not only how this update impacts like Warden based on the Warden changes, but also the power revamp. And if you all watch Friday's video, that will give you more information. I can't just spoil it all in the stream, unfortunately. Yeah, Warden tank definitely feels more survivable, saying as though. Despite me dying like I did, I didn't have much of the self buffs up, and I wasn't really working too much on survivability. And just from a baseline level, though, I did seem to be tankier. I think if you maintain, especially the good buffs, so that's going to be like Conviction, Dance of War, Readied Blade, and whatever 2-1-3 is, like Shield Up or something like that, it's a lot tankier. And then I didn't even have all the defensive cooldowns on top of that, and I definitely didn't have them up. So yeah. And that's exactly what I would have hoped from a power revamp, Andrew. You mentioned power revamp seems to have made it less impactful at lower levels, which is what I'm really hoping. Because I think power at low levels is annoying, and it's kind of annoying at high levels because, like, all the things that impact power just completely wipe out your power. And at least having it scale with level, I think, will help things make more sense. But for Warden, I actually don't even know what gambits he has. So he has up to a piercing strike. Okay, these still seem to be pretty weak, which is okay. That's not, like, necessarily a bad thing. Meow is weak. Still don't have resounding challenge. That's a bit sad, but hey, it makes sense. Power attack. And what other gambits do we have? That still doesn't do great damage. But you know what? For this character is really weird because he has level 1 weapons. So his damage is kind of messed up compared to a high level Warden. So if I compare Surety of Death and Combination Strike, it would actually take, it looks like 3 ticks. Is that what I'm seeing? 180, that'd be about 300. Yeah, about 3 ticks of Surety of Death. So 12 seconds of damage over time for it to catch up to Combination Strike damage. So this update seems to have positively impacted Warden's burst damage to a greater degree than my high level cap Warden. So that's just a random interesting note. Because this character's damage over time is a lot weaker than what you'd expect for a normal Warden. I'm curious now how much damage we have Onslaught. That does a decent bit up front. So yeah, as long as power issues are not as bad on Warden, I think I would really look forward to this update. Let's see, there are training dummies in the Isengard Tavern. I don't know that I want to fight that. Like, if I actually go into a real instance, I hate to do Foremost again, but when there's a good instance to just boot up and fight fairly straightforward elites and elite masters, I'm probably going to choose it over other ones.
Angmar has returned to conquer Eriador.
Break time. Eventually she's going to move the microphone so far away that she can't even reach it anymore. But also because it's farther away, she can't push it as well to move it fully out of her way. See, I think as soon as I move it back, she's back to doing the same thing. She tried to trick me and move away. Okay, interruption done. Hopefully, maybe. It's not even technically up to me to decide. Okay, what were we doing? Oh yeah, so I was just going to, there should be an elite master somewhere hereabouts. Rika, glad you like the Warden guides. There should be more in the future. I don't know, let's do this AoE group. I want to fight a single mob, because that would be an easier way for me to see how power issues might impact this character. Also his healing, he has different healing gambits, this is not good. Let's see. I know this character was already technically weak, but I think in the, before this update, I could easily, I shouldn't say easily, but I could kill this mob before this update. I don't know if I can anymore. I also don't know what gambits I have. I actually have less options, fewer options, I should say. Fewer options for self-heals. So, yeah. Hello, Lewis. The stream is going... You shouldn't be asking Louie how the stream is going. You should be asking Piper, because she seems to think she's the one streaming today. But from my perspective, it's going pretty well. Besides, Warden appearing to be squished here, I don't know if he actually is. I also guess there's another Warden because I just realized on Borrower I got a Warden -1. Is there somebody named Warden online right now? Nope. I don't think Warden could have given himself a Warden -1. But yeah, I got a little bit of info on him. I don't think there'd be too much excitement on doing a good chunk of gameplay on him just for beta. I could actually look at the Runekeeper, but because the captain got the revamp and we only got a little bit into it relative to the Warden, I'll go ahead and log into the captain a bit. But because I started this stream late and we're getting to a point where I'm not really running out of stuff to do, but it's going to be relatively slower stuff. I'll probably be wrapping up, I would expect, after the checking out the captain. So this captain's outfit, I think it's a great outfit for a captain, is the Gray Company set that you get from the Rise of Isengard expansion some point during it, from the book quests, I should clarify. I think it's around the point where you can either choose the prisoner outfit or the Grey Company. Maybe that's something else. I don't think that's actually it. I think that is, yeah, something else. But yeah, for Captain, what's really interesting about this round of beta compared to the previous round is, see, we're a Redline Captain and we were given Valiant Strike. But when we spec into Redline, wait a minute, what? When we spec into Redline, we actually get Shadow's Lament again. So that's back. I don't actually know if there's anything different. That would be the one major change compared to Beta 1 for the Captain. Oh yeah, and it's dyed Evan in blue. That would be the big thing. So the shield, the Midnight Star, or whatever the shield is called, matches it as well, which was pretty neat. Shield of the Midnight Sky. Wait. Oh, still have Valiant Strike. I sure do still have Valiant Strike. Is that why this... Whoa, what are you doing, cat? What did you even open? What is this? I have never opened that. It's Microsoft 365 Office. I didn't even know I had that. I guess that's the Microsoft Office app that has all the other Microsoft Office apps. Somehow she opened it. Okay, so when I went back to this spec, oh yeah, wait, I don't know what's going on. Where did Valiant Strike go? I had it, and it's gone. But I'd be curious if I actually did content that I would do on a character like this. I'd be curious how it would go. Also, am I remembering correctly that the Archer did a ton of damage in the beta? In the beta 1, I mean. Didn't he do really high damage? Yeah, he had that, which did a lot at least. What am I? I am... Hold up. Okay, critical damage sounds good. So as far as bleed, I also lost defensive strike. Where did that go? Wouldn't surprise me if Valiant Strike got lost in here somehow now. I'm not supposed to have Valiant Strike though, just to be clear. Okay, we like attack speed. Shadow's Lament, we actually have that, so that trait will do something. Critical chance seems to be a thing. Okay, definitely don't want that, I don't think, unless that does way more damage than I thought it did. Yeah, probably not. I don't have a two-handed weapon, but I could equip one. I do like that that's 3 points now and goes up to 10%. It'll make it feel a little bit more impactful. Oh, you can have multiple instances of the bleeds. You can have 2 cutting attacks. I'm guessing that requires some legendary items or more traits, but I did not realize Grave Wound does all of its damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Wow. That is actually... Huh. That's pretty significant. It, I think, could definitely make the, like, just make them bleed, that trait, a lot more relatively valuable. Yeah, OP Persevere, it's so sad they had to nerf that. I personally thought it was perfectly balanced. Like, I didn't really see a problem with it, but... Yeah, these bleeds are, they're kind of crazy here. The damage numbers in general just look a lot better than I remember, especially considering, you know, I could actually boost this character to 140 in the Isengard Tavern and set all that stuff up, but it takes so long. I'm using a level 48 crafted weapon. I'm level 52, and the LI that I have is with the old system. So he's in a weird spot where he's actually kind of stuck unless I get either submit a support ticket or I get a what's it called? Oh yeah, I get somebody to summon me into the Archive of Traceries, and then I get to level 56 and reforge. Actually, I'm not even sure that would work. Well, yes, level 56 and reforge. I think that I can do. But I have to get the new LI. But maybe you can reforge that right away. I actually forget. I think you can. But anyway, that's where this character is. And why his situation's all weird. But I'm probably going to boost him anyway. Because I have extra level boost. So after this update comes out, I probably just boost this character. Yes, I do not have Secret of Deep Places. So that's the problem. He's stuck in the middle of that quest chain. Which with the LI revamp, kind of messed up your progression on the character. Okay, I am curious if just boosting this, so that should do, I can put it up there for actual reference. Actually, we might have a few things impact that. That does 212. That would not be 2% more damage. So if we put one more point in it, does it boost the bleed damage? I didn't even put it up there. I think 212 is what it used to be, but I'm going to just waste all my points and see how that impacts it. That did not boost the bleed damage. That didn't even boost the upfront damage, probably because I'm not using a two-handed weapon. Wonderful. Just for that, I'm going to respec. Nobody needs to see that. Abomination of events there. Okay, I'm actually going to try to do a little bit of a... It seems like the Herald... Yeah. Wow, you can get them plus 15% mitigations? Is that... That can't be right, can it? His buff is like 2%. That probably means they themselves get that mitigations, because making that 17% would be a bit crazy. Herald of Hope might be a main tank, though. Yeah, the cooldown is kind of crazy. Did they always have this cooldown? Oh. It would be annoying, but I want to actually mind seeing that for the Lore Master pets. it would make the idea of playing Yellow Line more appealing. I don't know that that would get me to play Yellow Line, but it at least make it be a start to making it more appealing to me. Alright, well, we got that. Grave wound damage over time, critical magnitude, but you can get minus 5-second cooldown. With how strong the blade is now, I could actually see that being fairly impactful. Okay, so these apply bonuses to full fellowship, but that's when you use the inspire buff. But if you're in your solo stance, hello, so solo stance? Do I need a spec first? Let's see what I get. Yeah, so solo stance, inspire gives you a self buff. So that's, as far as I can tell, an effective for a solo captain. It's actually a pretty decent buff. And it seems to be a 15-second cooldown. For some reason, I thought it was a 1-minute cooldown. Maybe that's this ability. Masterful Strike, 2 arms. Okay, because this has a pretty big effect at 2 rings. That's how I'll go for now. What does the last trait on this one do? It gives the increased crit chance, so that's probably decent. I don't know how much that debuff is, but we'll put a point in it. Oathbreakers. I don't know, we'll just go damage over time. Okay, so that is my rough captain build. What is Cry of Fury? 5-minute cooldown. Oh yeah, that's the res. They brought back the old Oathbreakers icon? Oh. I didn't even know what the old icon was. I just noticed the icon was changed. So that's the old icon. That's kind of neat. Alright, what do we want to do? Like, if I were to just quest on this character, I'd probably be in whatever that zone is called, Moria. Or I could do, like, a mission. Although and I could do a 3-man, like, school or library, but I'm concerned this character would be a little bit squishy, but we all know and love school. Have a relatively good sense of the balance of it.
The school at was once a pinnacle of
So,
learning during the
I don't know, I
age
could
of
just
the
try
Warden,
this. We'll
which was
probably
not
get the
only
archer out if I had to guess.
and is a
Although with how strong the
union
captain
of
itself
soul,
might be,
who
you could
seeks
actually
to
want to
know
boost your
the
own damage with
power.
that. And I'm also going to attempt to organize my abilities for a solo captain. So we're going like complete solo with my setup. Don't mind that I just got rid of a very valuable ability there. Okay, so we have a couple cooldown abilities. We also have a cooldown thing here. We have Inspire. Hold up. Where's Blade of Elendil? Does that still exist? I don't think they would have gotten rid of that. There it is. And we have Shadow's Lament again. Okay. So Shadow's Lament no longer puts you in battle ready, but it does a decent bit of damage, it seems. This one should give me a buff. This one should also give me a buff. None of those put me in battle ready. Okay, that puts me in battle ready. Where's that? Wait. Missing another ability. Sure Strike, because that's the one that gives me the buff. 5% damage, 2% crit, and minus 5% attack duration is the new effect of that buff. I think that's different than it used to be, because it used to give like mastery and all sorts of other stuff. So that was missing as well. I really don't know how to organize my abilities, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, actually. I was going to say I guess that's a good thing, but not even necessarily. That's kind of scary. There's a lot of buttons on a captain. I'm only level 52. It could get worse at higher level for all I know. There's a lot of buttons right now. Also, I do believe the archer is doing pretty good damage. It's going to take a while to get used to Shadow's Lament no longer putting you into battled ready. I'm really excited to start a low-level captain because this actually seems like it could be really fun from a solo gameplay perspective, considering all the self buffs you have and the ways you can manage your battle states. I am, in case it wasn't obvious, not managing them very well right now. But yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement there, and starting a new character I think will really help with that. Yeah, for me, this character probably will come out of retirement. I anticipate boosting him because it would be convenient on Landfall to have a higher level captain. Wow, this boss is going down quick. My abilities are not set up well right now. I think that's another thing that's really making this not optimal gameplay wise, is the way I have my abilities set up it's not working. Yeah, honestly, even if I boost this character, when the update comes out, I don't know how much I would end up playing him. It's possible that I would, but that's because I'm probably going to focus on the new captain a lot more. Okay, so what do I need to change? So now I have my two abilities that put me in a combat state here. I have kick at shift 1. And then I have my buffs here at shift 5, shift 6. Blade of Elendil, I don't know how effective that buff is, but when I'm in battle hardened state, that is available. And then Shadow's Lament just does a whole lot of damage, but that's all it has going on for it. Gallant Display is kind of like Shadow's Lament, but AoE and like different. That's the impression that I'm getting here. So maybe I should have... Okay, Battle Shout does very slightly less damage than Defensive Strike, but I think I'm going to put it at 2. And then I'll actually let my bleeds... I think if you use... Is this still a thing? If you use Grave Wound, it will spread the cutting attack bleed? Let's see. Shadow's Lament will spread Grave Wound. Okay. And then Grave Wound will spread cutting attack. Okay. Let's try. I'm just going to jump in and try that exact mechanic and see what happens. Oh no, we didn't get it. Well, that sucks. F3. There we go. And this is the problem. I'm still like a DPS. I'm still relatively squishy compared to a tank. So that's the problem with running into something like this. But the actual damage that is being output, especially again, one-hander, non-LI, etc., it's not bad. Yeah, the flow of Captain with the skill bar seems like it will need adjusting and probably some work from where I have it right now even. Okay, we don't have our archer, which might be a good thing for me to actually test my own damage. I think it's good that the archer's impactful, but if I'm going to try to test cutting attack, Grave Wound, spread Grave Wound. Apparently they silenced me because they don't like me doing all this talking. Okay, I didn't do a great job with spreading it. But hey, I'm surviving. We got through it. So Rip, you're loving your dwarf captain so far. Hopefully you enjoy the captain changes as well when they come out. Alright. We'll see how the boss fight goes. So this one gives me a huge heal. It also gives the enemy dough. Yes, this is beta right now. So this is currently testing the captain changes with a little bit of a oddly set up character. 100 or 120 Valors, I think they can be a great option for somebody who wants to skip Rohan. The level 95 Valor is very bad value. The level 105 Valor is decent value. Well, actually, the level 95 Valor is no longer very bad value. It's just not great value. But the level 105 Valor, I think, is pretty high value now after some of the changes that we had last year to the game. Okay, so I'm going to be weird, and I'm going to boost my own damage. I'm going to put on my self thingy. I'm just going to give myself a heal. Warden and Minstrel. That is some noisy characters there. And you can just add Captain to the mix and have even more noise. And there we go. We should have a lot of AoE DOS going on. We're trying to pretend to be a Warden. It was... I would actually call that somewhat successful. The overall outcome is not like I didn't kill everything. But I actually did do the spreading of bleeds there. That's all I wanted. We can go back to Archer. I also should put myself in a battle ready state, like if I were actually trying to do this in a way that, you know, got me good damage. Doing that in the... like setting up your battle states before you do your full big damage rotation thing, whatever you want to call it, would be a good idea. Okay, we have, I think, ways to mitigate this. I think. Isn't it if you're closer, he does less damage? I actually forget what it is. Well, I didn't die, so there's the good news. He says, "How dare you fight me at range, bannerless?" Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I need to just hold my state right now. Yeah, I'm going to do these. We're going to do that. Press this button. That's how I describe playing a class that I don't really know. There is actually a method to what I'm doing right now, though. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the initial damage thing, the one shot, I didn't remember it as close to him. There's some great stuff I don't get to keep. Oh, it doesn't let me keep doing that. Well, I actually consider this, compared to my first time checking out the captain, a lot more successful. I think, one, actually having the real ability set that we'll have in the update helps because, you know, we have whatever it's called, Shadow's Lament and not Valiant Strike. And I don't know, I just feel like I did better with the gameplay today compared to last week. I think that's partially because I actually took the time to set up my abilities in a manner that makes a decent bit of sense. Okay, the reason I'm destroying everything is because this is beta, and in beta, you can just spam this button, except you get too many requests, slow down. They don't want you to spend mytho coins that fast. Like, the servers just can't handle you being a big spender with your mytho coins, I guess. And see, now I feel absolutely no need to do this on the regular servers, because I got it all out in beta. Wait, what are this character's virtues? That's not ideal. How? Why? I don't know. Oh yeah, so for low level honor and fortitude are technically better than loyalty, but I don't know when they stop being better. But at very low level, that is actually true. I have no idea why I have points in compassion, to be honest. That was probably a mistake. This instance can be run as a delving, but only at the level cap. This character is level 53, so I can't do that. Now, I believe the delving has the same loot table as the before the shadow delvings. You can just run a 3-man version. I'm guessing it's still 10 per day, and you could just do this over and over. I don't know what she was kicking, but she was kicking something in her sleep. But yeah, I think solo captain looks to be a lot better to me, just based on my initial impression from running that. I don't think this character is the best test case, but I think that actually worked out very well. But yeah, I honestly don't think I have all that much else in me, because I am quite tired now. And probably won't get much of anywhere if I tried to check anything else out in the beta, but I had a lot of fun getting to the 1 3-man. Eventually there will be 2 3-mans, a 6-man, and a raid in this update. But in this round of beta, there is 1 3-man that seems to be somewhat broken and doesn't have loot implemented as it will be in the final update. Yeah, so loot's not properly implemented, that's what I'm trying to say. Also with the Warden, yes, I think pretty happy with the Warden changes overall. This stream, I eased myself into it a little bit more and actually didn't even put points into the yellow line. Obviously, it would be better if I eventually did that and the such, but I think it actually helped me check things out. And again, with Sand and Snow and Andrew there, I was able to test things without having to worry quite as much about what I was doing. So that was quite helpful. And with the captain, as we just did, I got to check things out, check their damage out. Despite this character's rough build, he actually still did a lot of damage, even with the context of how bad his weapon is. That's basically the big thing. I think his mastery and the such aren't terrible, but he doesn't have an ally, and that's really the big thing. He also has a one-hander and not a two-hander. So given that, the captain damage looks to be very favorable at level 53 at least. In Warden, I think there is some promise he will not run into as many power issues. So I would very much so look forward to that. I think that's pretty much a decent summary. Oh yeah, so the instance itself, the 3-man itself, I think that was... It actually was a bit deceptive at first, because one thing that bothers me with Sargvorn, while I don't dislike the instance as a whole, is the first bit up to the first boss. It's just so cluttered, and I'm not a big fan of very cluttered instances like that. And like having to turn my graphics down, my frill density down to 0 just to be able to see is not ideal. So at first it looked like it would be a bit like Sargvorn in that regard, but overall wasn't too bad once we actually got into it. So I was pretty happy with that. I think it's a simple 2-boss 3-man. There's not too much else to it, to be honest. I don't think that's a bad thing to have instances like that in the game. In fact, if they had 1 3-man with 4 bosses, I would rather 2 3-mans with 2 bosses. Just, I don't know, to me that's a little bit more appealing. So, I don't know, just a random thing that I don't actually mind having short little instances like that. I think that's something the game could benefit from having more, kind of like they did in Minas Morgul at the 130 cap, and eventually had quite a few level 130 instances with updates after Minas Morgul proper. So yeah. I think this will help the end game overall with level 140. So I'll probably run the instances, probably not too much, but I don't know. That's just something, I guess, to look forward to, because it has been a while since I played endgame content in LOTRO, and I think just the thing with endgame that I think has made me play less of it lately is how repetitive it gets. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of just like doing the same instances just to get a little bit better gear to run the instances on a bit more difficulty. While I do like the increased difficulty and eventually getting that accomplishment, I just don't find it worth the time, really, especially lately. That has been, I don't know if it's because of something in the game or even just me, that hasn't been too appealing lately. Also, from the perspective of somebody who does YouTube videos, streams, and the such, it's, you all can of course comment on this, but in general, if I do the same thing over and over and over again, it's not really interesting, it's boring. And if I did, and I have done stuff like this in the past, but if I do like 3 or so endgame streams in a row, usually the second, third one get a lot less views than like the initial one that kicked that burst off. So I don't know, that's just something I am a little bit considerate of. It seems like viewers tend to like variety. I also like to play a bit more variety, so I do mixed low-level content and the such, and yeah, I honestly don't know how I got on this. Severo, you're wondering if they're trying to make all lines viable. I think eventually, like, the long-term goal of balance would be to have all lines viable, but I think their more short-term goal, or like their initial goal, is to have at least one line viable for each class. But I do think that while balance is pretty much always going to be ongoing work from the developers, I do think they're, in an ideal LOTRO world, they would have all lines be viable. I would honestly really look forward to Lore Master getting a touch where DPS is actually viable. The support role to me isn't too bad, but the way the Lore Master does the support role is really boring for me to play. I think that's one reason I'm super appreciative of people who do play Yellow Line Lore Master, because they're great, they're useful. I get so bored playing them. I actually did, back on Nor, like level 50 cap, actually tried Yellow Line Lore Master, and it was not for me. What other, like, if I had to narrow down specific lines, Yellow Line Hunter as well. I think that's one of the bigger ones that could use adjustment still. Yeah, I really think Yellow Line Hunter, Blue Line Lore Master might be two of the bigger ones that are coming to mind. Blue Line Champion, yeah, they could probably use an adjustment, like, kind of like how Warden has received. I honestly don't know. It seems like there are enough people that like champion tanking that there'd probably be a decent chunk of people upset if they actually removed the Blue Line Champion. But I don't know if that'd be something they would consider. And just having the champion focus on DPS, or what they would do. Also, Yellow Line Guardian, that's another one. It's pretty decent at lower levels, and it does have some options for more AoE and the such at higher levels. But in general, it just seems to be Blue Line is a lot better. Of course, tanking for Guardian, Red Line, of course, for damage. That it also, it seems like that'd be a possibility of what to remove. But yeah, Blue Line Champion, that's why I think that could be controversial if they decide to remove it. I think it could be interesting, but I know there are people that would want to see champion tanking viable, and if I had to pick champion could only DPS, or they could have an option for tanking or DPS, I'd of course be happier with having both of them available as a viable option. So to improve the blue line for the champion, I think, yeah, making just buffing the tanking aspect of them, perhaps bringing back a shield for champions could be an option there. I don't know. There are possibilities, though. What other specs are there? Blue Line Burglar could also be another one. Like, it's a spec that has, I think, a very strong fantasy to being like the gambler a lot of their effects are actually have inherent RNG, which it's just the spec fantasy, whether you like RNG or not. If you don't, you might not initially like the spec, but I really like the gameplay flow. There's something, just the way the blue line plays, that has a lot of appeal to me, even if I'm not necessarily into like gambling even. There's, yeah, just something about it that makes it fun to play. But given where it is and how it fits into the burglar class overall, I could see Standing Stone Games actually removing that one and making it a lot of support traits, maybe some RNG, like still some gamble based support traits for the other two lines. But yeah, I don't know. It just, I think for burglar as a whole, it just doesn't really have much of a place is what I feel like. Even though I, again, really enjoy playing it, that's just kind of the sense I get with it. Y'all got me stuck on these classes. Now I'm trying to go through all of them. I think for a class like Captain, so Captain, they now have all three specs, which all three should hopefully be viable after this update. It might not be perfect when update 35 comes out, but we're going to have an intention of more viable blue line. You have Solo's more viable red line, and of course the group support will still be valuable, and then yellow line Captain should still be viable tanking. I think Bear Warning could be similar. They're another class that I don't think has to have just like two specs and a third one be supplemental. So yeah, with Bay Warning, as far as adjustments they could use, it seems like they might be able to use, I could see one more cooldown being really helpful for a Bay Warning tank. Ooh, for Bay Warning, make red supplemental or red for the Captain. I actually think both of those could be interesting arguments for both classes. For Captain, okay, for Bay Warning, I could see that because as much fun as it would be to do a lot of damage on the Bay Warning, it really seems like their strong spot in the game is being flexible with tank and healing. And unless they did a drastic revamp of the red line itself, just like almost a complete ground up rework of what the red line is in terms of how it increases your damage and makes you a DPS Bay Warning, I do think that making it supplemental would be better than what we have right now. I still would probably like to see a lot of damage boosting traits in there to help with solo gameplay though. Like, help them do decent damage. Maybe they could even get the Captain treatment where they get a solo stance to increase your damage at the cost of, I don't know, some sort of group effectiveness. That could be interesting. Yeah, for Captain, I definitely don't see them making them a 2 trait line class because they each have their own purpose. The only reason I was mentioning that with the red line is because you could either go for more healing, like basically a full all-around support Captain, where you can get a lot of group DPS support in the blue line, and you have a more defensive tank Captain. But yeah, I don't really see that being overall a favorable change. What other classes are they? Champion, yeah, we already covered making tank viable. I really wonder if they would ever, I don't think it would work. I feel like Champion would be one of those classes that has to stay with 3 specs because you have the blue line for tanking, you'd have the red line for single target, yellow line for AoE. If they tried to combine the 2 DPS specs, that'd probably be too much if I had to guess. It could be fun, you know, to have both AoE and single target and strong, make you feel powerful as a champion, but I don't think that would make too much sense. What classes have we not talked about? We have Guardian. I could yeah, definitely with the Guardian C removing or moving the yellow line Guardian to supplemental, having AoE boosting stuff for the red line, and just damage boosting stuff in general for the red line or the blue line if you want to improve your damage as a tank. That's like a choice that would be a choice for you. And then also maybe some defensive stuff if you want to be a red line Guardian with a little bit more defense, a little bit more solo survivability. And then, yeah, also blue line, improve your defenses. That'd probably be what you would end up picking a lot on the blue line Guardian for a tank, but could offer some interesting options. And I really just think removing the yellow line for Guardian could be good because it, similar to some of these other ones, just seems to lack an identity that actually makes sense with the class as a whole. Like, just where does it fit in for the Guardian is what I'd have to question. And Runekeeper, yes, we have not even talked about Runekeeper. Who did get updated in the update 35 beta, at least. That's not out yet. This is still in beta, which I have not played. But, I feel like Runekeeper has its 3 specs. I think it makes sense for them to be another 3 spec class. So they have healing, you have fire damage, and lightning damage. And yeah, that really is what Yellow Guardian feels like. It feels like it's supplemental, but primary for Blue Line Guardian. It offers a little bit for Red Line, but more so traits for the Blue Line Guardian at the current moment. I'd actually really look forward to an update where Yellow Line Guardian was changed to improve Red Line Guardian. That's really what it would be for. It's just me being greedy for even better Red Line Guardian because I love Red Line Guardian. Also, somebody is throwing snowballs at me. I wish it was that cold outside where there could be snow. It's warm enough that I have to run my AC at this time. Even though it's middle of winter. I think still, yeah, around, it's a little bit later in winter, but still. Is that the captain that has been running around? It's so empty here in Bree. Why did I feel like they went over that way? Is War Chant? Is that in the yellow line for Guardian? It would help if I were on a yellow line Guardian, but it's like very similar to that if I remember correctly. How many people are even on right now? 9 people? I wonder if anybody is anonymous on Blower. That'd be interesting. There's a lot of captains. 1 Warden. I like Agility is the name though. Huh. Okay, are there any other classes we did not touch? I feel like, oh, well, Minstrel, haven't talked about Minstrel, but I think the way they did the rework with them makes sense, so I don't really have much to add with Minstrel. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to think about the classes and all the possibilities of different things they can do. Or can do, I mean, more so like could do in the future. And I think they have the capability where they can do it as well. Yeah, it would amaze me if there was a band just randomly playing on for 9 people. Like on Arkenstone, I remember there would often be shirtless dwarves playing music here. That would be pretty awesome to see on a beta server. Alright, well, I think the beta... This is actually a good thing for me to check. I feel like I'm too tired to do the beta rant, but I haven't done a beta rant in a while. I cannot find the beta thread. Sometimes it takes a moment to navigate the LOTRO forums. So yeah, beta is currently set to close tomorrow. Wow. They really aren't having this one up long. Like, they started it Tuesday, so now they're closing it on Thursday instead of Friday. So, with the beta, This beta is actually lasting less than 48 hours. It's lasting like 46 hours, 15 minutes if they go on schedule. And one of the more frustrating things with LOTRO's beta is not only the limited time frame that they actually have the beta server open, but it's also during the weekdays and not over the weekend. When in my experience with other games, given it hasn't been too much that I have actually played beta in other games, I haven't really done that. But a lot of them have beta weekends. And that's where the name beta weekends came from, because games don't have betas on weekends, and that's what they'd call it. So something that just doesn't really make much sense to me is why they only have betas on weekdays and for such a limited time. I could see the perspective of them needing to like implement changes so you can have the next beta round and the such, but I still think that would be possible if they just shifted when the betas were from, like, instead of Tuesday through Thursday like this beta round is, for example, or Wednesday through Friday like it maybe more typically is, having it go something like Friday, could even be Friday afternoon, all the way to Monday afternoon. That would be on like massive 72 hours instead of 48 hours. But I think that would give a lot more players the opportunity to actually log into beta and check things out and give feedback. I think in general, people, well, population, of course, like not in just LOTRO, but any MMO really goes up on weekends because that's when people have that time to play. So to me, it would just make a lot more sense for betas to be open for the weekend. That's really what I'm trying to say here. And it just, I don't know why they don't do it over the weekend. But the other thing is, this gets to be a little bit more on the selfish end, but also is productive for you all eventually when I get to that part. But for me, it really doesn't help with content creation and actually making videos based on things in the beta. Because really, I had, for this update, for this round of beta, or most of them, I have 2 afternoons that I can check out the beta. So if it's a particularly interesting beta, I will try to fit a stream in, as I have this week and as I did last week. So we got 1 stream for this week, but that gives me like 1 other afternoon to test out the changes or like record videos and such. And typically, I'm not always able to. Sometimes I am, but it also gives me limited time to actually check things out. So like, for example, last week I got 1 Warden video out of the beta, when ideally I would have had probably, I think a like actual reasonable goal could have been 2 Warden videos and 1 Captain video on top of that. That just because of the time they have the beta, it didn't really like let me get to getting to those videos. And again, I realize this is a little bit different than just like when people can play, but it's also similar. And yeah, one of the points of that was it's also useful for the community, for not just me to like do videos and the such for beta, but also other people to check things out and even report that in the community so people can have a little bit better idea of what to expect when the changes come live and all that sort of stuff. So from a general content production viewpoint from the community, it's also not as good for that. And I guess what's really confusing to me with the betas and why they are on weekdays is why they don't do them on weekends. Because it seems like they would have all the technical capabilities to have the beta server like just open through the weekend, because I don't expect that somebody has to actually manage them 24/7 and be online for some reason, because I would guess that people sleep during the nights, even during the weekdays, and all the other servers are up during the weekends anyway. It's not like all the other servers go down. We've even had 4 temporary servers, so beta boards only open temporarily. Even for those, we have had servers that are up during the weekend. There's, oh, this has been a while, but Bombadil was the server name when we had that temporary event server. I think that's what it was called. And now it's able to be open during the weekend, so yeah, it just kind of confuses me. And whenever there's a beta, I like to take the opportunity to say this and go over the beta rant just because it really is confusing to me. And eventually, the idea would be to drive change to have betas actually open during the weekend. I really think that would be a big improvement to betas in LOTRO. Anyway, that's the beta rant. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. That's my like very tired, sleepy version of the beta rant. So, to get to comments though, saying this, no, you mentioned the Westgate is the most popular spot and Brandywine. That's really surprising because I can actually head there. I'm not too sure for Landreval. I have not actually been in Bree that much on Landreval, and I know people hang around the Prancing Pony a lot in that general area. But yeah, I haven't been to South Bree much lately, but on Arkenstone at least, South Bree was the big hangout spot. I assume it still is. But with West Bree, it just doesn't seem to offer quite as much overall. So it's not quite as convenient of a spot to just kind of hang out and leave your character. Except nowadays you can take the swift travels to the Before the Shadow content, so Cardinal and Swampfleet from Westbury, which would be quick access for high level characters to the Delvings, and missions would be the main thing. And of course for characters leveling there's that. But yeah, I'm actually surprised to hear on Westbury this is more of the hangout spot. It's kind of interesting. It does seem like a good stone wall for standing, though. Like, you're just gonna have people in maybe horses. I was actually trying to get it where my feet were actually on the bridge, but it doesn't quite seem like that's possible without standing this way. Seems like a good spot for that. It's a really nice time of day in game. I really love this captain's outfit. I normally would like it to match the steed's outfit. Like just having your steed and character's outfit match just makes sense. But I think something also about the contrast with the steed, whatever steed I happen to pick on this character, Steed of the Alliance of the Third Age, I actually like the contrast between the gold and blue colors. I think when I get to my hardcore captain after update 35 comes out, I'll probably use something just like this. Oh, the other one by the grocer? I didn't even have the right wall. Wait, where's the grocer? Isn't the grocer like all the way over here? That be this wall? That actually confuses me even more if I have to be honest. Huh. That's actually really interesting. I wonder how the people at Brandywine came up with this. That is pretty amazing. I might actually have to try to pay attention to see if anybody hangs out here on Landreval. It's a nice spot. It's a little bit, I would almost call it more quaint than South Bree, because you just got the fields behind you, the little farm, animal pens, etc. I probably aesthetically prefer this spot. So, I approve. Good job, Brandywine. They clearly didn't need my approval, though. Also, I still had a trait point to spend. Or did I level up? Probably the latter. But yeah, so I don't sit here and do nothing much longer. I am going to go ahead and actually wrap up with this stream. As far as upcoming content though, again, I have a very exciting video Friday. I hope you all check it out and I hope you all enjoy it. Again, if you're a channel member, you can actually watch it right now. It doesn't have a proper thumbnail, but it will by Friday. And otherwise, Hopefully more beta videos. Though I don't think, yeah, I actually won't be able to do anything with that tomorrow. So, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I just won't be able to record any videos tomorrow. It's too late for me now. So I don't think I will have a video just on the captain as I was initially hoping. But I think the captain changes are straightforward enough that it's also not really time critical. But I think they're straightforward enough that it's not the biggest deal if I don't ever get a video out on them. It's just the Warden ones, I think, ultimately are more interesting. And I at least got what I think are the most interesting, got like the most interesting changes into a proper video, at least with the game it changes. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this stream, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And that reminds me, I do want to say I appreciate, I know Santa Snow has been here, Ref Magos, and any other channel members that have been here. I appreciate your support, as well as Nerfdist and Matt Miller, who became channel members during this stream. And yeah, thanks for that, and thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.